So who do we have on today, Georgie?
So, Sam, we have Kevin Roditeli, author, writer, creator of Freak Snow. We have him on the show. And then our topic for today will be Brokepreneur.
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 It's a word you made up. We're going to talk about it. Let's do it.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I am your host with the most set, the crazy man, Barrett, and I'm with
George the Dreamer Medina. What's up, Sammy? Bringing it. What's going on, dog?
Bringing it.
Hey, listen, first, I'd like to say happy early Valentine's Day. It is February 12th, and this weekend will be for the lovers.
That reminds me. Will you be my Valentine girl? Remember? That was New Kids on the Block.
No, you sound like a chipmunk, bro. Does that say my house? What the hell? Oh, man. Welcome, everybody. Another episode of Catch the Craze. This is episode number 220. I want to say 228, 227. I mean, I've lost track. I mean, we have so many episodes.
Yes. What episode is this?
Today,
yes, it's 228.
228. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, comment down below, all of that fun stuff. We have a great show for them today. Sam.
Yes, we got a really good show today.
As we said in the intro there, the soft intro,
yes,
we have Kevin Roditeli of Freak Snow fame.
Roditeli.
And we have the Brokepreneur.
Brokepreneur, that's who I be.
Brokepreneur, hashtag Brokepreneur.
Yes, Brokepreneur.
So we'll be talking a little bit about that and what the hell that means on Get Your Meds. But so real quick, before we even get into the whole show, I'm very happy, Sam, because we have been successfully funded a second time on our Kickstarter campaign.
I thought he was going to say he was happy because he knows me.
Wow.
You know, it is Valentine's. I'm just saying.
Damn it. You're so needy, bro. Yeah, no, man. Everybody, thank you very much.
Yes.
There's been lots of love shown to us on our Kickstarter. We are fully funded. And tomorrow is the last day of the Kickstarter.
Word.
So February 13th is the last day of the Kickstarter. So you still have a
make
day.
your pledge today.
Make a pledge. Meet these guys.
Yes, meet the crazies.
The crazies are out and about. I just dropped
the
you.
Crazies.
The crazy man is out and about.
Crazy
Get
man.
that guy.
Yes.
So make sure this is the last push. We're trying to
push
get as much
in
funding
the
as
bush.
possible so that we can move forward with the book. It'll help us with the printing costs and all of that other fun stuff, because now that we have 2 books in the can.
Yes.
Look at that.
Look at that
2
piece.
books in the can.
That is an awesome piece, though.
We want to make sure that we have enough cash flow to do that. So we can only do that with your help. We will be putting out a third Kickstarter. More news on that to come. So I just want to get that out of the way. So thank you, everybody.
I got dollars in my pocket because, man, it pays to be smart. I turn my art into an empire. Cause I grow and grow. So you know I won't retire. Got the status in the cloud, no doubt of all kinds. I got the rhyme to take you out. Cause my rap is like a trap that you fall into. On special ed. Anyway, so
Special Ed
yes.
was the joint back there, right?
Yes.
My name is Special Ed, and I'm a super duper star.
Every other month.
Every other week, I got a brand new car.
Yes, I got.
He is
one.
now DJ. Isn't he DJing now?
Is he?
Is he?
Oh, I
Isn't
don't
he
know.
like that? I don't know. I think he's a DJ now. But anyway, so yes, so Catch the Craze, baby, new episode. Now, Kevin Roditeli, freaking fabulous interview,
Yes.
full of energy. My man brought it today.
He
so
brought
you're
it.
gonna get to see that. Now, also, and since we recorded the show, Mr. Roditeli has become, now he's got a new title now, because Behemoth Comics, which is the comic book publisher that publishes his books, has hired him as head editor of licensed titles.
Wow.
So this is who he is. This is who we're interviewing today. My man has done a lot. He's owned a comic book shop. He's had a comic book company. He's, and I think he's only 23. So
He's making moves.
you know, Behemoth is no small animal. I mean, as the name says, Behemoth Comics is huge. So,
You know, I used to have a rap song called Making Moves.
oh,
Yeah.
You know what? When are you gonna play some of that stuff? You know what? We should make some of your music MP3s and offer them as rewards in future Kickstarter.
Yeah, know, right? Yeah, right?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe people will be interested in that. You let us know. Comment below. But what's going on, Sam? How you doing, my man?
I'm doing. I'm tired a lot of the times. I'm working harder than I've ever worked in my entire life.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, but life is good. I got my health, and you know, we're making it happen.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Second month into the year, man, and like it's just let's see what happens. I mean, we're obviously pre-recording the show, so we don't know what's gonna be happening on February 12th.
Right.
But hopefully, you know, things are getting slowly and like getting it back into normal. So we'll see what happens.
Word.
But yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exciting stuff. I'm happy that that our Kickstarter was successful. I'm happy that we're going to be getting a lot of those books out. We're creating. We're doing what we love. So that is a positivo, man. Positivo.
Yes. Yeah.
You got anything coming down the pike? And any works? Anything in the works?
No, I think at this point we're issue 4 will be in the hands of the artists in about a week or so to start illustrating, and so we'll have our Kickstarter in spring for issue 3, and then our summer Kickstarter will be for the collected trade paperback edition, and you know, and hopefully by then, if you're watching publishers, hopefully by then one of you have decided to pick it up and distribute it, because I don't want to have to do it myself. We don't want to have to do it. So
Yeah.
the goal is to get into a publisher's hands. But, you know, Catch the Crazies is building an audience on a whole lot of levels. So that's really good. And hopefully, you know, we can get into cons and we can see the Crazy Man as a cosplay character. You know, so we'll see.
Yeah. That's right. That's
So
right.
we'll see. And,
Let's
you
see,
know,
¿qué pasa?
if you're watching, if you're a cosplayer, you know, we will be holding a contest for the entire month of February. And show us your burst, Crazy Man. And minimum to qualify are 3 entries. We need at least 3 entries to be able to have it as a competition. And show us your best Crazy Man. You can do a video skit. You can just do a photo of you as the Crazy Man, whatever you want. Send it in, and we'll enter you into a contest, and you get a chance to win a graphic tee of the Crazy Man, a comic book copy of Catch the Crazies with the Crazy Man on the cover, and get featured on our show. And we'll bring you on the show, and we'll do an interview. So that's going on. That's pretty exciting.
Very, very exciting, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we have, and obviously, you know, weekly shows of Catch the Craze will be broadcast on YouTube. Sam's got the live drawings that he does during the Crazies every Saturday and Sunday, right? You're doing Saturdays and Sundays?
Every weekend. Every Saturday and
weekend,
Sunday.
just spending some time with you.
Yes, I work 7 days a week. I am a brokepreneur.
Dude, Brokepreneur. Are we doing that already? Are we going in?
Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's
Let's
do
get
it.
it. So again, we're gonna have to do.
Oh, you're gonna put that in, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
All right.
So boom. So we are back, and the topic of today is brokepreneur.
Brokepreneur. So this is like a little phrase that you coined, Sam.
Yes.
The brokepreneur. So
Yes.
what is a brokepreneur? Tell me what a brokepreneur is.
Mr. Catcher, I'm a brokepreneur. So right here, you see me? It's broke. So for those of you who know, I was employed until the company I worked for went belly up, and I've been in retail forever, for many, 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 many moons. And so when the organization announced to us in September that they were going to be closing down and December 5th would be the last day, I spoke to family members, and the decision was made that they were going to help support me in taking the risk and going after my passion, which is this, creating content, whether it's podcasting or comic books or whatever. And so because of that, there is no income coming in. And, we wouldn't be able to produce these books if it wasn't for the Kickstarter. Getting ready to launch the Patreon to be able to keep Catch the Craze moving forward. So right now, all the support will be based on whether or not you buy the books, whether you support the Kickstarter or you support our Patreon. And so the things I was able to do before, I can't do now. I don't have those luxuries. Like I can't,
Right.
I can't watch a UFC fight on pay-per-view anymore. It's like I can't go to dinners with expensive. I gotta cook. And I save money on dry cleaning and all these other things that I used to on tolls and gas, because I used to drive from New Jersey to the city and have to cross 2 bridges. And so being a brokepreneur is right now everything is output. There's no input. There's no intake. There's no influx of revenue right now. And so the goal is to be able to make a living doing what I love to do. So I am an official honorary member. I am the president and CEO of the Brokepreneur Club.
You're not only the fan, you're also the president.
Yes.
You're not only the client, you're also the president.
Yes, I got no money in my pockets.
So a brokepreneur is that entrepreneur that's broke right now. That doesn't have, like you said, it's nothing is coming in.
Yes.
Hopefully though, with the help of the fans and people who enjoy watching this show, for example, that'll all change.
Yes.
So because dude, it's a tough situation to be in. I'm sure a lot of creatives out there feel the same way.
Yeah.
Right? They're not, the money that's coming in isn't exactly sustainable. But they keep doing it, and the brokepreneur brotherhood is real.
It's for real.
Sisterhood, brotherhood, it's real. So big shout out to you, man. Like, and I know it took some real soul searching to take the plunge. So what did it? What was it?
It was my sister-in-law saying that she believes in me. And encouraging me, because this is what happened. 8 a.m. on a Thursday. So we got a call at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night saying be in the office at 8 a.m. Now, I wasn't scheduled to be in the office till 11. And they said be there at 8 a.m. Now, for me to go, so for me to go from where I live to Brooklyn, I had to leave here because of traffic around 6:30, 6:15 to get there by 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So we get on a conference call and we find out we're not going to have a job.
No boy.
So I text I don't tell anything to my wife just yet. And I text my family. And then I leave work that night. Now, mind you, I just inherited a new team. It was my first day. So I had to go into that location and take over for that team because that general manager left. And so they transferred me there because the building that I was going to run, they weren't going to open on time, and so I went to Brooklyn to take over. That was the first day meeting the team. We find out now I have to speak to the entire population in the building, all the team members and managers, about the fact that we're all going to be out of job, and explain everything. And they send you all this, whatever. So I'm finding out. I'm there for the first day. I'm the bearer of bad news, telling everybody all this stuff. I leave work. I'm on the car, and my sister-in-law calls me and says this could be a blessing in disguise. I was like, I'm not sure. And then she's the one telling me, well, this is an opportunity for you to go after your dreams. Based on an analysis I did of your finances, you can get by for 6 months before we have to reconsider what you need to do. And she goes, and if we budget it tightly and you stick to this budget and you do this, you can make those 6 months. And how long do you think before you can start seeing revenue coming in? And I'm like, it's all speculation. I was like, my goal is by spring to be able to have something in the pipeline or whatever. And so it was that convincing. And so because of that, so well, what would be the ideal setup so that way you can be as creative as possible? That's when the idea generated about me moving my office down here. Mm-hmm. And so I designed it in PowerPoint. I had 80% of everything. I just needed a few new things. So everything I bought was on a dime, design on a dime. I went to Facebook Marketplace. I bought these leather chairs that I'm sitting on. I think it was like
those are nice.
Yeah, I think I paid like $75 or $40. I forgot. It's hard to. No, $75 was for the conference table. This table down the center, and then these chairs. I think it was like $10 a pop for these leather chairs. Everything I bought was off market price. It was all pre-owned stuff, and I designed this and I started working, and I've just been working 7 days a week since. Like I don't know anything else but to work and grind. So since December 6th, which was my first official day of being a brokepreneur, I've been grinding, and we're hoping that it pays off by spring and we start seeing some traction. What made it challenging was COVID, because I'm not the only one that's been infected by unemployment. Between COVID, social distancing, the cancellation of all of the outlets for networking, it's hard to build those relationships with people virtually. It's easier when it's in person because you can connect based on your personality and the connection. You can fill each other out, and there's nothing like being able to look at somebody in the eye.
Right. It's a difference.
Yeah. So that's the only difference. It's just a lot more difficult. I'm blessed at the fact that I have this set up. I'm blessed at the fact that I'm able to get by for 6 months. But then, in the 4th month range is where I have to start looking at things hard. Because I can't wait to the 6th month. I got to start planning ahead. Yeah. So that's what I am. I'm a brokepreneur. And,
I got to give it up because, you're being very candid and very open about the situation. And we're joking, brokepreneur. But, a lot of people are in Europe, especially with what's going on in the world today. I'm sure a lot of people are sitting there where their office is called them the night before, said come in and gave them the bad news. So this is very real. This isn't, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're making light of it. I mean, whatever, but it is real. It's a real situation. Yeah. But I think that like you said, you've been blessed. I mean, your sister-in-law, she's a freaking angel, bro, for even allowing or helping you out. Yeah. In the way that she is, but also, and just so that people just don't think, oh, Sam's just fucking, he's just waiting around. No. Sam's had offers. You're a wanted commodity out there in your industry, but you're choosing your dream over that.
That's right the hardest part.
And that is another side of this whole story, right? Where it's not just, oh, Sam's just kind of sitting back and his life, no, and he's just doing his comics. You've had offers that you've had to turn down, because you're pursuing something that you really love to do, and this is.
I thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
Because I've been lucky and fortunate enough that I have a good reputation in the business that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And the day the announcement went out it was the morning that we found out going bankrupt, by noon, I had offers. By noon that same day, I had people reaching out to me from organizations, because of my reputation. And the hard part, was saying I'm not ready. So I left it open, and the only reason why I did that is because I don't know what COVID's going to do, and so it doesn't matter how hard I work. If the world is in shambles, there's no way, you know what I mean? So I had to be a realist to say, look, I'm not ready now, but I'll keep you I'll keep in contact, and in the future when things change, I'll give you a call. I don't want to have to give anybody a call. I want to be able to do this for a living. But I have to be a realist because we didn't think any of this stuff was possible.
Right.
The stuff that the U.S. is going through, nobody ever fathomed the fact that we'd be in such chaos. So, yeah, you have to be a realist. But at the same time, I try to stay focused and positive and just keep grinding and keep putting the work ethic. I work out every morning, every day, just to keep sanity. And I'll walk the dogs just to get some sunlight. Because once I come in here, it's hard for me to get out unless I have to go to the bathroom, or
Right.
it's real.
Yeah. No, it is. And you know what? You were in the retail business, and
Yeah,
that's one of the places where it has been hit the
sick,
hardest,
big time,
right?
big
Like you're
time.
looking at big time stores closing, you know what I mean? Lord and Taylor
Yeah,
closing down locations, like so it is the end, and like you said, you go into another retailer, so to use the term, you going into another one would just be, okay, how long can they stay? Oh, if this continues, how long? So
yeah,
at this point, might as well bet on myself and
yeah,
let me go do what I love to do,
yeah.
which is a hard decision to make, dude. Especially when you have a home, when you have a wife.
A
Like it's not like
mortgage.
it's not like you're like a single dude who's just kind of doing his own thing, and whatever happens to you, you can eat, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day, and who cares? You do have a family, you have a wife,
Yeah,
so
and I have
yeah,
pets, and
and pets,
and
kids,
yeah,
your kitties,
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's a very real thing, and I thought it was, it's a good,
It's
just
funny. It's just I
talk
just
about it.
realized that I haven't started my car since.
Oh,
So
you better
I
go
gotta
do
go. I gotta
that.
make sure I rev up that engine today and make sure everything's fine. I
Oh,
haven't
make
done
sure
it
that
since.
battery,
Yeah.
yeah. Holy cow! Go
Oops.
for a drive somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I gotta take it
Luckily, the
around the
weather's not
block.
so bad. Yeah,
But I save it on gas. Save it on this. We just use the one car because my wife has her own, so I just use
yeah,
hers.
yeah.
But one of the things that keeps me focused is that I have a routine. So every day is different. I have an agenda by day. There's a time allotted for networking. There's a time allotted for social media. There's a time allotted for creating content, whether it's the comic books. There's a time allotted for producing the podcast. So there's a time allotted for sending submissions in to try to get somebody to pick up the publishing. So I plan out my days of the week. So I'm pretty filled, and then just creating content takes up a lot of time. So
Yeah.
and then like if I'm editing a video, by the time I hit to export it into its MP4 file, that'll take about an hour, based on the file size. So as that's happening, I'll go to the draft table and I'll start drawing something while the video's being formatted. So I keep myself really busy.
Yeah.
Uh, so that way, and what makes it feel like it's possible is when you see that we did 2 Kickstarters and we were successful with it.
Yeah.
That just reinforces what we're doing. And when I see that the subscribers are growing on our channels, it's like, all right, you're heading in the right direction. I see the followers are growing. You're heading in the right when we get the feedback. So there's those little things, all that help keep putting the coal in the fireplace to keep me moving forward.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, the support has been amazing from a lot of the people out there, even within the industry, even our peers.
Yeah.
You know, big shout out to Nerds of the Round. They do a lot of Michael Gracia. Big shout out to Michael Gracia, who put a show together. Actually, I don't know if you guys missed it, but on a few weeks ago, he put a show specifically for us to promote our Kickstarter. He didn't have to do that. He did it. So, you know, big shout out to Michael for doing that for us. We never got a chance to thank him on a podcast because we pre-record the shows.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was big. Daphne Lage has been a huge supporter of us.
Word.
You know, her husband, JD Calderon. You know, and there are countless people that I'm sure I'm not naming right now, but they definitely have been very supportive and very helpful in doing what we're doing. And you guys, you know, the viewers, people who click in, check this show out, and, you know, like it and things of that nature, that helps. So yeah, no, dude, I mean, the Brokepreneur, it's a hashtag now. Hashtag Brokepreneur, baby.
Yes, dope.
Listen,
this man is broke.
Coming soon. Now, we're still working on a lot of things. The store on crazycomics.com. Check that website out, Crazy Comics with 2 E's, not a Y, crazycomics.com. We're going to have apparel on there. We're going to have, you know, everything is it's building. It's building. We have the books.
Yes.
Sam, you already have some stuff up there where you can download some
Yeah, you can get
PDFs.
the PDF books right now. They're all available on crazycomics.com. And physical books will be available through Indie Planet and soon Comixology. Working on that. And you know, so we'll have that print on demand there. Yeah. So baby steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby steps. So the store, you know, the stores are coming. If you want to check out some more stuff, you can even go to my website, Get Your Meds with a Z, Meds, E-M-E-D-Z, getyourmeds.com. Check that out.
Whatever happened to Medina Whip?
It's still there. I mean, Medina Whip, I changed the name around and I made it Get Your Meds. But if you click in medinawhip.com, it still goes to the website.
See, because whip means we is Pope.
We is Pope. You did like that. You felt that.
Yeah, we is Pope.
I like to think it means work in progress. But yeah, we use poor works. Whatever happens.
Just like a famous wise man once said, "More money, more money, more money."
Oh man. Oh yes. So that has been another edition of Get Your Meds.
Yes.
The Brokepreneur
edition. Yes, and
we have Kevin. Kevin's coming up next.
Yeah, so please, if you like this topic, give us a thumbs up. If you have any feedback, put comments below. If you have any tips on how we can turn this brokepreneur into entrepreneur, let me know. And we're going to go to the crazy man, and when we return, we will have Kevin. Home Alone. Peace.
What are you doing? What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm waiting for my adoring fans. Yes. Yeah. What adoring fans? Can't you see I'm famous? I have a sticker. Ooh, do you have a sticker? Yeah. Well, I'm on the cover of this book. Are you on the cover? Well, I'm in this poster. Are you in? But you're tied up, and I'm not. So, I'm famous, and I don't need you. Hi, I'm the crazy man. Hi, I'm crazy man. Candy girl. To learn more about the Crazy Man, make your pledge on Kickstarter for Catch the Crazies today.
All right, we're back, and we have a very special guest on the show tonight. His name is Kevin Roditeli, or is it Roditeli?
Like you want. I don't even know.
Roditeli?
Roditeli.
There you go. What's going on, Kev? How you doing, man?
Pretty busy. I mean, we are launching this book tomorrow, so
Sweet.
It's keeping me busy, and we are building like the brand and really preparing for the next pre-order. So we are super busy with all this.
Right. So for our audience, this is the author of Freak Snow, which I just happened to get my copy because you had a Kickstarter going
Right.
a few months back, and I picked up one of these books, man.
Thank you, dude.
In there, you have now. I was looking through it, and I read it. You have was it 3 different artists that are working on the book? Tell us a little bit about the book.
Yeah, there's 3 different artists. There is one artist that just did 1 page, the first one. And after there is Rob Cannon that did all the post-apo art style, and the Custis Pentulas is all the artwork that are set in the God world. So there is some scene with gods that he did. So those 3 artists are working together to build this crazy story I did. And we shuffle through this world actually with this little kid that is set into a post-apocalyptic world when he start hearing the voice of a god that auto-proclaimed himself the god of gods, and he is following his prophecy. And at the same time, we got some scene with this god, and we go through this path to find love again for this kid, because his family just got into a mastercide because of this god that he is rearing right now. So that's it's a pretty intense story, but I think even if it's super dark, we finish on a really hopeful note. So that's what we wanted. And I'm super happy with the result. I think the guys did super great.
That's awesome, dude. And I know I kind of jumped into the book, and normally we like to talk a little bit about the artist that or the creator or whoever it is that's on the show. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you grew up, and you know, just give the audience an introduction into who Kevin Roditeli is.
Yeah, so I'm from Quebec, the French part of Canada. So my first language is French, so that's why sometimes I'm not too perfect. So I started 10 years old as a YouTuber. I was making some Call of Duty videos and stuff like that. It was my first, I guess, first introduction into making content in entertainment, and my dream started to become a film director. When my history teacher at high school did actually. He gave me a pile of movies of Stanley Kubrick. He said, "Your mom doesn't want you to watch Clockwork Orange, but you will tonight." Because I told him, I want to be a film director.
Okay.
And you need to see that. And I saw all the movies of Kubrick's, and this did really change my life. And at that point, I knew I wanted to be, that was a confirmation for me. I wanted to be a storyteller.
Right.
So, and after I did explore more directors and just be crazy about movies, and I actually watch 1 movie a day. I do like the Quentin Tarantino diet, you know, that I need to watch. Yeah. I don't sleep before I watch a movie. Just before, and sometimes it's super crappy movies because I think you can learn from crap as well. Sure. So I was watching The Leprechaun just before the interview. Like I think it's from the 90s. First role from Jennifer Aniston with fucking crappy. It's kind of a Chucky ripoff.
Right. Leprechaun. Yes.
Leprechaun.
Yes.
He wanted his shoes. Yeah. Isn't that the guy that like get up there? I wanted the shoes. Yeah.
It's fucking weird and not that great, but I'm having fun. So there is like 30-minute left.
Yeah,
that's what I gotta do after the interview. Finish that mess. So yeah, that teacher, Alex, shout out to Alex, showed me all those Kubrick movies, and after I really started to be more into storytelling. And if I can go backward, what I did really put me, I know it's after that. Yeah, after that, I watched it in the theater, the movie Watchmen by Zack Snyder.
Okay. Yeah.
It's at that moment I understood that comic book was more than just superheroes and you know, punching bad guys and shit like that with no deep meaning, which I think a lot of people think comic book is when you're not into comic book. It's just like, oh, we're gonna catch a bad guy and punch him, and that's the story, nothing more. And when I saw. And I was like 12 years old when Watchmen was out or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So seeing that in theater was kind of a revelation to me. And also, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's a fucking masterpiece. And after I read the graphic novel by Alan Moore, and and I started to be into comic books as well and to be into films. And at that moment, after watching Watchmen, I was like, oh, that's a comic book? Fuck. I need to go into comic book stores and see what's about. So I did go into my local comic book store and buying some shit from Image and stuff like that. I didn't go to the guy, the comic book guy, classic comic book guy. And I say to that guy, I don't want your superhero crap. I want to see some deep meaning, because I wasn't, like a pretentious kid into Kubrick.
So you weren't into your typical superhero comic book.
Oh no,
you got more into like the deep, dark, like things with like you said, like meaning behind the story. That's
what I wanted, because at that time I was super fucking pretentious, like a kid at Discover Kubrick. So I needed that fucking deep shit. So I did go to comic book store and ask for stuff like that. So I got some Garth Ennis, more Alan Moore's, and those writers that go dark and gritty, like Frank Miller's, and so that's what the guy at the comic book store become, and did give me, and that guy did become one of my best friend. And 1 year later, I started to be a co-owner of that shop.
No
and
kidding.
my first introduction to comic book was actually being a co-owner of a shop. I've been co-owner of that shop for 3 years or 4 years. And we sold together the comic shop because we were moving to other things. Like he is a convention promoter, and me, I wanted to start my publishing line. Sure. So I started to publish stuff, and when I published stuff, I'm like, man, I don't have time to create. So I stopped to publish, and now I'm full-time creating at that time. So that's pretty much my story.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. So you owned a comic book shop, sold it, started publishing. Were you publishing other people's stuff?
Yeah, I did publish 25 books under a label that was named Wrestling Cross Publishing, and we sold it to someone in Israel.
No kidding.
Wow. the magic of Facebook.
Yeah, seriously.
Nice.
Yeah, and after I did Focus full time, so for 3 years we were working on that book. Took to me really too much time because I wanted it to be perfect. Yeah. And now it's kind of silly, but we are going back into publishing, me and Rob. So that's kind of fun because Behemoth, the publisher that published this book, me and Rob, we are starting an imprint. So it's kind of an exclusive thing I'm giving to you because it's going to be announced next
That's
month.
what I'm talking about.
But yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
There you go. That's right.
Exclusive.
Exclusive as fuck, dude. So yeah, we're starting our imprint. So we are bringing our vibes to it. So you're going to get some exclusive, weird fucking book going out because of us.
Good for you, man. Yeah, Behemoth is doing very well, right? They're a pretty good publishing house. So how did you get linked up with them? How did that happen? How did you get into their
super simple. I wish I could tell you like the fucking crazy stories of like I had like 125 rejection and like classic comic book stuff, but I just sent the PDF to those guys, and 5 minutes later, only even maybe like 2 minutes or 3, they just Nathan replied to me, dude, I was looking at your Facebook like 20 minutes ago. I want your shit. And we just get on a call, and that type of moment, like 2 minutes on a call with someone, you say, oh, this guy gonna be my buddy. And at that moment, just we just became super tight with the Behemoth people, and we started our own label into their label. So we were going with our own imprint because me and Rob were actually going to start that imprint as well because we wanted to produce stuff. Like I really love producing stuff and finance other project, putting some licensing deals and making properties into comic books. And since we just signed with them for this book and we found the relationship so fucking dope, we're like, well, guys, do you want an imprint? Because we're going to do it even if you don't want it. And we're like, oh, Kevin, can you stay in our team? And we said yes, me and Rob, of course.
Good for
so
you.
Let me ask you a question before we continue with that. How did running your own shop prepare you for self-publishing? What did you learn from that experience?
It's made me understand this market because comic book is a fucking weird market.
Yeah.
Because it's so unique. If we look at movie, if we look at music industry, all the other form of entertainment are going strictly to digital right now, like
Right.
to with all the streaming and stuff like that.
Sure.
But comic book, with the comic book shop, the most unique place in the world, this little cult that you have in your city, that are selling books, physical books, are still around and pretty strong. I mean, we just heard the news that the new Star Wars series just sold 2,000 copies in 200,000 copies
Yeah.
in one pre-order. You know, this it's pretty crazy that a physical book is still selling like that. When we look at physical album, for example, if you sell 5,000 copies like Playboy Cardi, you are the number one of the Billboard.
Right.
In comic book, 5,000 copies is a handy title, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So if we compare the other form of entertainment, comic book is super weird because it's still super strong in physical form, and it's gonna stay because, I mean, even me as a consumer, I hate reading something digital. I mean, I don't get into the story. I don't have the feel of the paper. I feel that the comic book experience is not the same. Good for you if you can read digitally, but for me, it's impossible. Like, I never get into a story or even see the details like I should. Because there's a lot of book that you need really look at the spread, like having those 2 pages to understand what's going on and just to feel really what the art form is. And on a tablet or on your phone or your PC, most of the time it's impossible to have like spread or just feel really the attention of the writers and the authors, because you don't have like that page switch. Because, for example, in that book, we have a moment right at the beginning like that. It's a big mass suicide, like 26 person died. But this is a fucking surprise that we wanted in the book. Like the page just before is like that, and when you switch,
You want to
boom, everyone is fucking dead. You can't reproduce that on a digital copy of a book. It's not like a movie. I mean, a movie can be consumed in streaming, and you will still have this cliffhanger to the next scene, because, well, a movie doesn't have like something you can touch. You know, you can touch a movie, you can touch a song. So the transition to another form of distribution is working. But for comics, I think it will never die, and that's what I love about it, and that's what comic book shop did made me understand is actually the consumer want a print copy of the book, and most important, the consumer base for comic in particular, I think in movies now we can say it's the same thing, is really looking for nostalgia, or there is 2 types of consumer, I think, in comic book. There is a good part, the older ones that are looking strictly for nostalgia, and that's the reason why they still read a lot of superheroes and get all those licensing books. And there is the I could say the hipsters, maybe not the right terms, are the youngsters that are looking for the next cool thing, you know. And that's what I'm trying to do, like the next cool thing. And I think that's the 2 places you can go. There is no middle, you know. So. And if you do something in the middle, you're going to do something generic and it won't sell. You know, if you're doing another superheroes, what's the point? There is already like 100 other superheroes that have been around for 100 years, you know? And so there is sometimes good superheroes, like Invincible is a super great superhero series, but it was original. And that's what you need to do with comic books, you know? Yeah.
No, that's a good point. And listening to you talk about the physical book versus the digital book, and you're a younger guy. You're not, you know, we're Sam and I, we're like, you know, pushing 50 over here, but you seem to
speak for yourself.
You still seem to be you know, in that I guess millennial. Would you be a millennial? I mean, I don't know how old you are, Kev, but
I'm 23.
Oh, look at you! And you still want this.
I'm on TikTok.
And you still want the physical copy. That's incredible. Yeah. I could have sworn you would be like the perfect person to be like, nah, man, I want the digital. I don't want to be carrying one of these around. I'd rather just. And it's kind of refreshing to hear that, bro. To be honest with you, because there's hope for this for the genre still, you know.
Dude, I would love to be the example of my generation, but check, if I can just like take my arm, I have a DVD right here and a fucking CD of Kanye West, you know, from 2001. So I'm not the right one. Oh, okay. And I have a vinyl just here, so I'm not the right one, you know.
Nice.
I'm super
Nice.
old school guy. So, James Brown.
Oh, look at that.
Look at you, bro.
There you go.
You're not 23, man. You're lying.
No, you see.
It's lies.
I take the blue pill to fuck, you know.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Uh,
So you leave the comic book shop. Now, was that
Right.
how that decision must have been tough, or were you just ready to move on? Like, what happened to the comic book shop after you left it? Did you sell? I mean, I know you sold it, but how is it doing now? Like, what's going on with that? Like, what happened there?
it actually, the shop did close after 1 year.
Really?
Yeah, the guy that did buy it was super dumb with it. He tried. It was a guy from, like a pawn shop type of dude. So he did operated like a pawn shop and did bring some weird shit like broken toys from I don't know where or some Hot Wheels or stuff like that that was not meant for comic book stores and just operated like a pawn shop. And he lost all the customer base that we did build of comic book fans. So they were not interested like in buying a Hot Wheel without wheels, you know.
Right. Yeah.
They want comics, so he just changed the business and closed it after 1 year. So good job, dude.
Yeah.
So you go from running a shop, and what was the point? What was that moment in time when you said, you know what, I'm going to take a stab at publishing? Because the success rate for indie publishers, I mean, the odds are stacked against you. So why did you decide, hey, I'm going to jump in those shark-infested waters?
I was just young and stupid and pretentious. I think that's, you know, that moment, I was like probably 19 years old, something like that. And I think at that moment when you have dream and ambition, you don't calculate anything, you know. You're just like, oh, it's going to work because I'm motivated, I'm young, and I can do everything. I'm good, you know. People tell me I'm good. My parents tell me I'm good at everything. So I can do it. But that's not all life works, you know. There is there is some maths and things you don't know.
I gotta tell you, Kev, I wish I was as stupid as you were at 19, bro. Because you took that dive, man, and you're doing your thing right now. You went in there, you started self-publishing. Now, what were some of the books that you guys self-published? What was some of the stuff that you did?
We had the first book by Rob Cannon. The artist on that book, Rob Cannon, and my partner of the upcoming imprint of BMit, is the first book I did publish. So at first, I just go on a Facebook group and I wrote, I'm starting a publishing company. We want to be published. And and that guy, Rob Cannon, just DM me, hey, I got a book. And I just fell in love with his art style. And I was like, dude, I want to publish it. And after, you know, we were chatting and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, dude, do you want to be my partner on that publishing house? And we became partner. We did operate that for like 2 years, something like that. We did publish a book that was named Mask by Danny Warner. Super cool dude as well. Still friends. And we want him to come back into comic books. He is a screenwriter. He just finished like the Flow Writers Film School. Full Sails, I think is the name. We published it. The first edition of Franklin and Ghosts, now it's published by Source Point Press, and there is like an animation series coming up.
Good.
Birdlanders. Well, we had a couple of titles that no one knows what it is, but they were cool and all done by super dope people. But yeah. That publishing thing was a learning experience. Let's call it like that. Because it's what it was.
Oh, okay. And what were some of the lessons you took from that? You said it was a learning experience. What were some of the whether they're pitfalls or were there things that were positive? What were some of the, you know, just give us both sides of that spectrum.
Man, I love your show. Seriously, I really love your show. I feel that we are having like a real conversation and there is some deep shit going on. And but seriously, with a lot of comic book shows, it's just like the same generic question, you know. Right. Hey, what's your book? Okay, cool. And what you gonna do next? What's your next thing? Like everything is in surface because but yeah, I love your shit, dudes.
You know what? I think that part of what makes or should make our independent industry strong is to know the artists behind that industry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I always say that.
Yeah, we people should know who we are. I mean, obviously know our titles as well, but know who we are and what drove us to this point. Because there's a lot of us out there that are like, yo, man, I need to know more about this person so I can go ahead and, because I think the professionals do it. You know what I mean? Like they sit down and they talk about, you know, what drove them or what, you know, that kind of stuff. I definitely like to know more about you and what drove you and what some of the things that you maybe learned, or, you know, I should have done that, or, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. That's where that question comes from. Not to freak you out.
No.
Oh no, really, it is to freak you out.
That's Sam's MO, freaking you out.
I love it. And you know what? I always say that because I think the problem with comic book industry right now, and why it's not like in the 90s, of course, there is other factors that are bigger than that. But I think the biggest problem right now in the comic book industry is everyone doing comic book treat the comic book industry like an inferior medium.
Yes.
Like comic books are just a piece of crap or something that you maybe get an option for a movie, you know?
Right.
So now there is no longer comic book superstars. You don't have like like if we were in the 90s and we had internet, there will be like TMZ covering Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, and all those guys because they were fucking superstars, you know. Comic book creators were like movies directors, you know. Comic book had their Zack Snyder, they had their Michael Bays and stuff like that. And that's the problem with comic book industry. Just like the industry did accept to be an inferior medium in the US, because if you go in France, comic book creators are still super big fucking stars. And just now we decided like, oh, it's just like a piece of paper, fuck that shit, you know. And and the problem is not the consumer, is actually the industry itself that said to the consumer like, comics is that, it's a monthly thing, you know, you pay a few bucks and nothing more. But the problem is just like, hey, dude, you can still be a superstar. You can still be something. Just tell to the consumer. All the market work in any market is actually just tell what you are, and you're gonna convince some people. And we see it right now. I'm like, if we look at the fucking well, I should start swearing a little bit.
I think it's a little too late for that.
It's a little too late for that. Again, I have a meeting in 2 days with a PR person, and probably if you see this interview, we'll say, okay, now for your PR, maybe. It's gonna be funny, but what I was going to say, it's just like you can convince people with your marketing and your communication of what you worked. And the best example, even if I fucking hate this example, I will say fucking again because this one deserve it.
Right.
And it's the same thing. If you want to be a superstar, just say you are a superstar, and it works. It's always been like that, you know? And that's the problem of comics. I've seen at convention creators with t-shirts, writers with t-shirt, I'm just the writer. Because like being just the writer is something in comic book.
Right.
Like because it's a visual medium, you think that your credit doesn't work what it is, but man, the artist will not be doing his incredible job without your script, without your direction. You're not just the writer. You are the writer of the book. Be proud of your fucking thing, you know?
Right.
No, definitely, man, definitely. So now, do you consider yourself do you draw also? I wasn't even sure if you're an artist, Cap.
I don't draw. I write the thing, and
you're right.
I write, and I'm part of the process as well. That's why I have a problem with the writer of the book.
Right.
I think that every writer has an impact on it. You know, it's your world as much as the artist's world that you build together, and you bring some direction and ideas to the design and of course composition as well. Because I'm a fan. I love movies. My plan is to become a director and direct movies as well. So for me, it's kind of part of the process as well to be assisting the artists in the composition of the pages and stuff like that. So it's I think That was my rant about. That was my
Well,
rant
no,
for the show.
it's valid because we did a show several months ago with regards to this specific topic about why aren't writers paid equally as the artists, because they're the ones who
Right.
are they're the ones who created the universe or the world. And so yeah, I agree with you 100%. And even though I'm an illustrator myself, I believe that there's a lot of credit not really truly giving to the artist unless you're a superstar writer.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. What was the question?
The question was, what are some of the pitfalls and the negative and the positive things that came from your time as a publisher? What were some of the things you learned?
Yes. Pros and cons.
Pros and cons. That you cannot improvise yourself to be something without doing research and understanding the market. You know why I could start making comic books, because I did 3 years of research into a comic book stores. I thought I was really going publishing, but I did not do research, on printing and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, for example, for our new publishing line, it's built on what we did wrong on the first one.
Gotcha.
Like the first one, the biggest mistake we did was actually to print like 5,000 copies of each books. Offset, we were going offset and saying, oh yeah, that's cool. We're paying less than $1 for every copies. We're going to make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
But well, we were not selling those 5,000 copies.
Right.
So we were not making money off that. But if we had the distribution at the time, like being more passionate and just like make short run in the beginning and build up our catalog, and after go, for example, show to Diamond, Simon Schuster's, what we have in catalog, and print in consequence when we have a distributor, the company will have done well. I think we had a good branding at the time and stuff like that. But we were, I would say I was too impassioned, to make something big and to go like, oh, all in, oh, we're gonna sell them, and just like be blind about the situation, just like go, oh, let's put the money and everything gonna be fine.
Right.
And I don't know how I bring Rob into that, because Rob is someone more conservative with money, but he did follow me on that. But now, since we have Behemoth that has already like distribution and already all the system in place, the printer and stuff like that, I cannot repeat this problem, but I will have not even without them, because we that learning experience and losing like a lot of money on the first company. We know now what to do and what not to do for publishing. I think it was just like needed to actually go back into this game to fail that fucking hard the first time.
Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to fail and you got to fall on your face. You know what I mean?
And I love it. I love it because it's the only way you learn and you grow as a human being, I think, when you fail.
Yes.
Because the problem when you don't realize you fell or you don't fail, you don't grow. And if at some point I don't fail anymore, or I don't feel like I felt, there is a lot of people that just like always put the problem on another person or the mistake on another person. And if at that point I became this person, just I'm not growing anymore, and I cannot go further in anything,
Yeah.
Right. So now with your imprint, what are your expectations and your goals? Now that you're published, but now you're creating your own division, what did you go for yourself?
My goals with it, I have two goals. I want to do my goal with an imprint for me was because I make weird books, and I don't want to have the problem to always find like a publishing house and stuff like that. Now I have the big distribution while owning my shit,
Right.
And that was my goal, to be independent and having distribution. And now it's going in the direction that I can do that even on my craziest idea. And I had the chance with Behemoth that there are dudes that love my shit. And I know my shit is not for everyone, it's not the most mainstream stuff. And I still want to go into those crazy idea, and I don't want to be hunting for publishers for 6 months, 2 years before finding the right one for that project and that project, or just trying to find my audience myself every time, because it's super energy consuming to be alone in a marketing battle,
Right.
So that was my first my first goal with my imprint. It's just like, oh, I want to do this shit. I can do it, you know. And I know, and it just because making a book it's money, you know. I pay all the artists' page rate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a big investment to know to do even before knowing if you're gonna have like an audience or a distribution for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So signing this deal for the imprint just secure me that fact that, okay, I'm gonna put that money for this crazy ideas, and I'm sure I have a distribution. Maybe not an audience because no one gonna connect with that crazy idea, but at least I have distribution for sure.
Well,
and
yeah.
that was my first idea, my first goal. And my second goal is actually to give the chance to have a voice to other weirdos that want to bring stories to the mainstream, you know, that I love, you know, some stories that I really have like a personal connection to it. And that's what I love it about publishing, you know, that when you receive a submission or you back a comic book on Kickstarter, it's coming and you read it, you're like really having a connection with that book. And I want to give a chance to those creators that I have a connection like that. Like I fell in love with their books, and I'm just like, oh shit, I want to do something for this book.
Right.
And with the possibility of publishing them, it just like I think is the greatest form of love that I can give to a creator from my perspective. You know, say, hey man, I really fucking love your craft.
Right.
Can I bring in the distribution it's need, you know, to actually try to reach an audience for it. And so that's why. And the second one is like we are right now into licensing and stuff like that. So it's I'm bringing my favorite French comic book series to the US, which I talked to the creator. They haven't made there is a movie adaptation of that thing, and no one in the US wanted a comic book. There is a fucking movie on Netflix. And no one wanted a comic book. They all said it's not sellable in the U.S. This thing is not made for the U.S. Was made for the French market, and it's my favorite comic book series of all time. And I'm bringing it to the U.S. And I don't care if some corporate people said, "Oh, it's not for the U.S. market." I think that with the right marketing, everything is sellable. You know, even the crappiest shit in the world can sell with the right marketing. It's all in the way you sell it. So for example, if I say, oh, Freak Snow, it's it's a super deep thing. It's weird. It's dark. It's not for everyone. You just said in your pitch, it's not for everyone.
Right.
How do you want to sell that thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but if I say, hey, Freak Snow, man, I was inspired by Borderlands, Mad Max, Fallout. It's a post-apocalyptic thing. We have some fucking dope action scene. There is some, you know, now I can get everyone because I talk in a mainstream language, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's about that pitch, right? It's all in that pitch, how you sell it. What you know, what's that thing that's going to make it connect to the audience? I guess is what it is. So what is this favorite TV show or favorite book that you're bringing to the U.S.? Can you say, or is that a secret?
We just signed a contract. It's not.
If you can't, don't say it.
Yeah.
If you can't say it. If you can't, don't do it. But
No,
there's something big coming. I presume.
No, it's really, really good. It's my favorite comic book of all time in the French market. I will say, yeah, it's really, really good, and I can't wait to. I can't wait to release the English version, and there is a movie on Netflix. I will send you the link after the show.
Okay.
If you want.
All right. Sounds good.
I will send you what it is, and it's super cool.
So what you're
So you know,
publishing?
Kevin, I think we mentioned this in the chat. This episode airs February 12th. So it's not, you know, we're re-recording it now, but it won't air until February, which is why it's a perfect time to tell the audience a little bit about what's coming in March, right? So what do you have coming up?
So in March, we're going to have the ongoing series of Freaks Now going to start. It's me and Rob Cannon coming back to the series. Rob Cannon on this one is co-writing with me because of the pace we need to release the issues. He needed to be more involved in the writing process, so it's go faster for the constriction. And the cover artist for the series is Victor Santos. He is the creator of Polar. There is a Netflix movie as well for that.
Wow.
And he has his own series at Image Comics, so that's kind of cool that he is involved with the project. And this series is pretty cool. We follow another character in the wasteland, in this frozen wasteland. It's a guy that is addicted to some psychedelic drug, and forget where he did put his wife and daughter in this post-apocalyptic world because he was on a trip.
Oh,
And
wow.
we follow him for 4 issues in trying to remember where his daughter and his wife are. But when he is in his trip, he has his 2 best friends with him, a broken can of beer and a whole robot toys. They are both right there talking to him, you know. So it's super weird. And he's trying to find his family in this wasteland while being super high. So it's like Fear Loathing in Las Vegas meet Mad Max, for example.
Gotcha. Yeah. That sounds awesome, bro. It sounds real cool. And that's coming out through Behemoth also? Or is that coming out through your imprint?
Yeah, Behemoth and also our imprint. So it's like Skybound at Image. It's like we work. So there's both logos on the books.
Gotcha. Sweet.
Nice.
Man. Sweet.
Nice.
You got anything else for him, Sam?
So where can people find you if they want to contact you? If anybody who's interested in licensing your brand, your product, where can they reach you?
I'm on every social media, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not TikTok. I was joking. I'm not on TikTok. Kevin Roditeli, and my email is everywhere as well. So if you want to make a movie of Freaks, contact me, and I will direct it as well. Okay, cool. Directing debut.
Outstanding. And when you're ready to launch your new import from France, make sure you let us know. So we'll give you.
Man.
We'll promote it.
We're gonna announce in March probably the full lineup for the brand, and we got some cool licensing as well. Some cult movies from the 2000s. So it's not that old that we have one.
You gotta come back on the show and tell us about that stuff.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
you gotta come back.
Yes, I want to be at your screening. So this has been a great, you a lot of energy. You are definitely an inspiration for a lot of the indies out there that are struggling with understanding how to really move forward. And you really have a good grasp on understanding the dynamics of multimedia and brand awareness, and just going out there and you're defining what happens with your future, which is great. And it's your hustle that's going to make the difference. So hats off to you. Thanks again, and we'll be talking to you soon. So,
thank you, guys. It was awesome.
It's fresh.
All right, good. Yes.
Yeah, dude, that kid, amazing. Kevin is amazing, bro. Like his energy, what he's doing at 23 years old, Sam. 23. What were you doing at 23?
At 23, I was
well, you were probably.
I was launching Crazy Comics.
23.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
I was beginning Crazy Comics.
I certainly was not doing anything at 23 or 19 for that matter.
No, 19 I was rapping.
Listen, Kevin's got true. Kevin bought a comic book shop, sold a comic book shop, decided to go into publishing, sold the publishing company, some guy in Israel, and now he linked up with Behemoth is not a small publishing company. They're a name. And
well, there's a lot of indies out there, publishing companies that are taking risks with, because he said it. He said, my book is not for everybody.
Right.
And when I started reading his book, I thought of that HBO movie, Carnival, which was out there, right? It's very different. It's out there, and it's like stories within stories and within stories, and it was a little weird, and so I understood what he meant. But there's an audience for everything. And what I like about his hustle is he has a no failure approach to it.
No fear, bro.
And he adjusts to any of those learning curves quickly. Right? He doesn't let it set him back. He's like, all right, this didn't work. I'm moving on this. This didn't work. I'm moving on. Oh, this is working. I'm going to capitalize. Oh, I just got a publisher. I want my imprint. So, you know what I'm saying? So he's thinking next level every step of the way, which is pretty fantastic for you indies out there. You need to watch this episode. If you haven't, check it out. Hit him up. A lot of lessons in this conversation, which is, forget about the 5,000 F-bombs that were dropped. There was a lot of lessons in this episode. I stopped counting. I was like, I'm just going to put a disclaimer.
Dude, watch at your own risk.
Oh, those French. And the French. He's Canadian. What do you expect? But no, his hustle is I mean, the energy is infectious. Like, you know, the guy is his own cheerleader, and he's talking to a PR person, but he is the PR person. You know, just listen to him talk, listen to him sell it. You want to get involved because of that energy. That's the difference.
And he's got some big stuff coming down the pike, man. He's doing some big things. I mean, so I can't wait to follow up with him.
And it's clear what his intentions are. You know what I'm saying? And I think that clarity helps you navigate in this weird space of comic books and entertainment. You know, he understands that this is a step towards the next step, right? His end game is directing and producing his own movies, right? So these are all building blocks. And he's doing it the right way. And he's not putting all his eggs in one basket. He's not saying, I'm going to be locked into Behemoth. He goes, I'm looking at all avenues. Right. So I might have this title here and that title there. I might be doing this here and doing that there. Correct. I think that is a smart strategy because it'll ensure his longevity in this game.
Yeah. And this isn't, and from what I hear, this isn't the end game for him. Like, he wants to go into directing. Right. Like, it's not just comic books. It's directing. It's movies. That's where he started. I mean, you heard him at the beginning. You know, big influence was Stanley Kubrick and all of his films. And you know, he watches a film. He's watching Leprechaun right now. You know, just because it's there, and he wants to watch a crappy movie. And I think that maybe that's what leads him to learn. You know, you learn from not just your mistakes, but other people's mistakes. You know, so do it. And so great interview. Thank you, Kevin, for being on the show.
Yeah, fantastic.
Next week is I'm gonna say it's the 19th, February 19th. But this weekend, I want you guys to take out your significant others, since it's Valentine's Day. Enjoy it. Oh yeah, February 12th.
It's our anniversary.
But yeah, Sam.
Love is in the air.
Great show.
Every time I turn around.
We'll do it all again next week, bud. Hopefully I won't be in a car next week. I won't be inside a dark area like this.
Yes, and we are currently in our Kickstarter, so if you have not pledged, please hit up our Kickstarter and pledge for Catch the Crazies issue 2. Thank you all for those who supported us in issue 1. And for those who supported us in issue 1, if you check out the video on how we took care of packaging and shipping everything, and we got it to them early, so you're guaranteed to make sure that when it's packaged with corazón, with my heart, and it's all love, and that you'll get it. And so we appreciate your support for Catch the Crazies Part 2. And subscribe, hit that like button, put some comments below. We need to monetize this channel. YouTube is watching. I need your help. I'm Sam, the Crazy Man Vera.
George, the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. No, I was talking about my friend Acquis. I met say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
he described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.